Welcome to the Venture Unlocked. Today we are tackling one of the biggest questions for founders. When should you raise funding and what do VC really looks for in early stage startup? Joining me is Vaishvi from Marwari Catalyst, a portfolio manager who worked with countless founders navigating this journey. We'll break down how to time your fundraise, what investor prioritize beyond just traction, and how to craft a pitch that stand out. If you are a founder wondering where it's the right time to raise, this one's for you. Let's dive in. Hi Vaishvi, thanks for accepting the invite for this conversation, and I'm happy to host you for this episode. So this episode objective is about to help founder understand the nuanced aspect of early stage fundraising by exploring how to gauge the right timing, build trust with investor, and embody the traits that attempt VC. So we'll talk about that thing over this episode. And as you are working in the same industry and you are doing it for the years, so first I'll introduce you to my audience. You are Vaishvi Bansal and you are a portfolio manager for Marwari Catalyst. Last week I had conversation with your colleague Bhupesh, and this week we are continuing another conversation. So Vaishvi, to start that, just putting one scenario. So like in the today's scenario, we will explore what it takes to secure early stage investment, and not just by pitching the right numbers but by finding the right time, building trust and showing the qualities that resonate with investors. So how would you describe this kind of thing, like what should be the ideal approach to early stage fundraising? So as per your knowledge and as per your experience, you can tell us about it, and if you can add some example regarding it, that will be pretty good for us.
So much, and thank you so much, Shubham, for inviting me to the podcast. I'm very happy to share everything that I have learned so far in the journey, and to completely give answer to the question about mentioning about what should be the exact procedure for early stage startups investments. So there was an era when COVID was happening and all the startups were receiving funding at the ideation stage, but things are quite changing rapidly, and nowadays receiving funds over the ideation stage, it's pretty tough. Maybe it was maybe a 40% tough in times of COVID, but now it's maybe a 4% chances that you are going to get funding for that. So, mostly investors are investing when you have built something as an MVP, that is a minimum viable product, that somebody can see that what exactly is going to be, that is going to go to the customers, or else you have gained some traction, some validation for that product, anything that can prove, or maybe it can be number of downloads, number of subscribers, number of enrolls, number of premium buyers, number of early stage customers, anything it can be. But some traction helps the investor decide that whether they want to proceed or not. And
Got it.
follow this procedure, there are a few different procedures. Like first is the first step comes to friends and family who invest into your startup. Then comes some early stage investors. Then comes some late stage like better
Growth
established
stage.
investors. Yes, and then after comes the micro VCs and the VCs in the process. So that is a very detailed in-step procedure for each and every step where a startup is and how you can.
Okay. Okay. So, as 2024 is the year, there lots of startup are struggling to get the funds, and you are working with lots of startup as you are working with the accelerator. Okay. What was the trend you see in 2024, and as what was the challenges faced by the startup at the time of fundraising in the early stage side? Can you just put some point on that side?
So many a time startup founders who are just beginning, they do not know what are the complications that can come into picture. Many a
Okay.
times they do not take care of the compliances, because
Okay.
of which even if VC is entrusted to invest into them, during the due diligence procedure, they fall off and they're not able
Okay.
to proceed.
Okay.
So many things that somewhere it is more on the part wherein the team is not very strong, or the founder's background doesn't align exactly his current status of what he's building, to somewhere going ahead with a step wherein the startup needs to have this kind of a validation from the market, but the founder says that firstly I'll raise funds and then after I'll begin with getting that validation. So that chicken and egg situation, many time it turns out to be not very much correct, and ends in either the startup failing off because of lack of money, or else the founders becoming very much in a struggling state and not able to proceed further.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So, as you told, So these are the steps. Okay. But like lots of founders, like before this episode, I just talked to 5 founders from some different industry. Okay. They have, some are building products, some are building D2C brands, and some are building different things. Okay. So what was the problem? They are not the problem, but a kind of curiosity they have is like, if we want to go for fundraising, okay, so what was the right moment for it? Like everyone wants funding from the first day, but that's not possible. As you told, uh, traction is required to get the funding as per the current time, and that's a pretty good point. Just because every industry has different matrices, like if it's a product industry, there will be users and subscription will be part of it to see the traction. In the D2C side, we will see like number of orders and sales. So all industries have different metrics. So like for the founders point of view, how they can access their like assess their startup, and how they can figure out what was the right time to raise the fund. If they are the founder, they started for the first time, they don't have any startup experience before it, they have working experience or the job experience. So how they can access the time, like this is the right time, I have this much figure. So as per you, what should be the thing on that point, on that side?
Yeah. So every startup belongs to a different industry, and
Yes.
every industry works very differently.
Wow.
If an industry is belonging to the D2C sector, and
Yeah.
if D2C sector, maybe there is a clothing brand, and this
Okay.
clothing brand, the founder wants to raise funds. So the
Okay.
exact step-by-step procedure, the exact moment where they should go ahead for it, would be the one wherein they begin to get their first set of customers.
Got it.
Not like 10 lakh customers, 20 lakh customers. The
Okay.
first set of customers, and those set of customers are giving them a positive validation.
Okay.
That is the exact point when a VC or an angel will see
Okay.
if this startup grows, it will go huge because the initial traction is so amazing. That would
Yes.
be the very exact right point. But wherein there is a B2B SaaS company who is building a software for other companies, what the right procedure for them would be? They build a basic description, basic MVP of the product, and then they go ahead either to their companies who might be their customers, or maybe just industry experts who can validate about that MVP. And if that validation is true, just go ahead right at that exact moment.
Okay.
Investors know, customers are not started to enroll into this startup, B2B SaaS startup. So right now the valuation would be low, but the product has already got its validation. So it's the exact point when investing will give them the highest returns possible with a secure place. Not 100% security, but definitely some validation that can prove the worth of the product. So in every industry, there is some point wherein that can validate their worth, and that can also bring in investors for them at that exact moment.
Okay.
So that would be for all.
Okay. Okay. Like, yeah, pretty good points. So, as a founder, when anyone is assessing that thing, okay, so there are some green signals and there are some red signals. Like, just I'm taking an example of a startup who is building B2C product, that was a mobile app, and they want first 1,000 users. So they will see some people are using it and they are from a certain area. So and like now they want to go from 1,000 to 10,000 users. That will give them revenue and their business traction also. And at that time they want funds. Till the time, what kind of internal investment they took, and what was the first type of external investment come in their life. So I just break down for you to, like, first you can just tell us about like what was the internal investment they took to grow towards 1,000 users, to build and go toward the 1,000 user. And when they are going for the growth journey of 10,000 to 10,000, what should be the first step in terms of external investment they have to start with?
So in terms of external investment, it also depends upon the amount of investment that you would like to
Okay.
raise. For
Okay.
example, many a times friends and family, the F and
Yeah.
F model that comes in the very
Yeah.
first picture of any startup investment, that can range to anything depending upon your family background and friends background. But when we come directly shift to the formal stage wherein investors and VCs are involved, investors at times also begin with a small check size, but they can also go to very large check sizes, somewhat ranging around minimum of 25 lakhs to a maximum of maybe 5 to 7 cr. But if you want to raise higher to that, then there are VCs. If you want to raise in somewhat between the range of maybe 50 lakhs to 2 to 3 cr, then there are micro VCs that come into picture. So depending upon a type of raise, and also what you can present to the VC or the investor, depends upon whom you should reach out. Investors might willing to be more willing to enter in a more dangerous situation but get a higher return, but VCs would like to come at a bit more secured, more stable situation, and then grow that ahead. So that completely determines which segment, which startup should go ahead for.
Okay, got it. As per timeline, we started with from there they can start for the funding side and what they need to create to get the funding. Now, when they are in the funding stage and like they are with the accelerator or they are with incubators, okay. So at that time, they want to build some trust and credibility, okay. And to build that trust and credibility, these are the two very small words, but it creates very good impact in their whole journey, okay. So, what was the metrics they have to take care for creating the trust and, and credibility? Like apart from user and their business figure, what are the rest of the things that founder has to take care? Just because these two are not the everything, sometimes your presence also matters. So, what you think about that thing and what you saw in your journey, you can just share that thing. That will be helpful.
Okay. So to build credibility in front of any VC or any accelerator or any investor,
Okay.
pointers that are completely out of the picture, which you already mentioned, that they need to be necessarily present, are already there. For example, the founder's credibility and what their background was and everything else involved, what are the numbers, what are the metrics, but also a few factors which are not in their hands, but they will get supported by that. For example, first one, how is the industry's perception towards that particular segment? Is the government putting in money? Is the government focusing there a lot? Are the VCs majorly interested in that area? Or what are the established companies doing in that area? How are the investors taking exit from those companies? Everything matters a lot. And second place, how big is the market? If the market is huge enough that there is a space for every second player, then that is definitely a good industry to enter in, because you might be doing 100% well, 200% well, or maybe 80% well. If the market is so huge that customers require your service, you will find a place for the exact perfect fit for your product and your customer. So these are the sub few factors that also determine a lot. um these are not in your hands, but definitely this impact your investment procedure with the investors and the VCs.
Got it. Got it. So in all this conversation, when this all thing process is started, okay. So at that time, what kind of transparency any VC or any investor, like any kind of investor, what kind and type of transparency they require from a founder?
Okay. They would definitely require the exact numbers, the
Okay.
kind of EBITDA it's making, the kind of exact different exact numbers in terms of burn rate, PAT, everything else.
Okay.
That is one thing that if that falls off even at a later stage and the investor is disappointed, they would not be willing to proceed. Apart from it, the second thing, they would require a very clear cut strategy and a clear cut understanding of how are you differentiating yourself from the competitors.
Okay.
What is that factor that customers will be pulled by you instead of whom the customers are already attached with? If these things are not clear, even if the investor is interested in your personality, in your clarity, they would not be able to proceed.
Got it. Got it. So, do you have any kind of example, like not example, like any kind of scenario that you faced where figures are pretty good, founder is pretty good, but just because of transparency, they lost something at the time of funding. Do you have anything in your
Yes,
knowledge?
yes. Current thing that's going on with me with one of my
Okay.
investor and one of my startup, that the new company, health tech company, doing amazing. The
Okay.
product is amazing. The projects that they have recently received, they are amazing. The investor amazingly interested to invest into it. But only one small thing that's becoming a concern in between it. The startup founder had a previous 2 years old company which
Okay.
created a basic product, but and raised funds and tried to scale the company, but it didn't work out well, and they had
Okay.
to completely get away from it and begin a new one. But the new company is working, the baseline of their new product was built in that old company. And because of this, the investor feels even if everything is good and amazing, anytime the investors of the previous company can come and claim as soon as this new company becomes big. There was no clear distinction or no clear transaction that happened from the old company to this new company for taking that intellectual property from there to here. And as soon as this thing happens, everything in this new company is going to fall off because of the smallest of the errors that was created, just because of the smallest transaction that was not on papers.
Okay.
And because of this, I don't know the deal is going to go ahead or not. There
Okay.
are bigger things that we have to
This
take,
happens.
but these things happen. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, like, related to this, so as you are dealing with early stage startups a lot, okay. So, and as you told, these are scenarios came to you. So, when any kind of founder came to you, and they came with their business idea, they came with their figures. Okay. Apart from number figures and their idea, what all are the traits as a personality traits? What you guys are looking for in the founder, like? As per the positive side, as per the negative side, both the side. Like if any founder, like I'm a founder, I'm coming to you, so apart from my education, my work and everything, what all are the additional thing that you guys are looking for, so you can trust me and you can invest on me?
Okay. The first thing, you should be knowing how to pitch well, because
Okay.
that is one trait of a founder, that every step he would be requiring either to pitch to his customers, to pitch to
Okay.
his investors, to pitch to his IC, everything that's there.
Okay.
Also, clear communication by the founder would also require the team, because the team will not understand, then how will the company work?
Okay.
So communication, it's a must. Clarity of his words and his numbers, that
Okay.
is very important. For example, one where you are saying it's a 3%, but in the exact other two statements where it needed some kind of that was a few complicated statements, and you change that number from a 3 to 5%, that
Okay.
brings a lot of discredibility, untrustworthiness on the founder, that how can he is not aware of his numbers himself.
Okay, so number create trust or kind of depth he has about his
Yes.
business.
Yes. And how well he can explain about the product in the most layman terms. Consider me to be a fifth standard girl who doesn't know anything about this entire industry, or who doesn't know anything about any industry, and
Huh.
explain it to me. If you
Okay.
can do that, you can explain it to anybody outside. So
Got it.
that's a very important factor. Team building, he's the founder.
Okay.
Even the CXOs might be very good, but to keep the CXOs together, the founder needs to be very strong upon that part. That's a very important part. And the founder's previous background, what he has done, what he has achieved, and what brings us the faith that once he begin with this new project, it is going to succeed.
Okay.
That's a very important aspect. Or apart from that, there are many few other factors, small ones, big ones, that determine about how credible the founder is and what is the product that is being built. So these combinations all together determine that whether
Okay.
you should be trusting him or whether it's a clear cut.
Okay. So, like as you told, their previous experience also matter.
Yeah.
But these days, some of new, like lots of students after college, they want to start their own startup. And when they're starting, definitely they're going for some VCN, and they don't have any experience of company or anything. So in that case, what all are the traits as a person that person should have?
How good of a problem solver you are.
Okay.
Maybe you don't have an understanding about the ecosystem, but if you are given a you are being given a problem statement, how much time, energy, bandwidth, and overall result can you bring out just by researching over the internet, speaking to people, and doing the entire overall 360-degree research for yourself to bring a solution to that answer. If you
Okay.
can, people will proceed. If you can, then you are a college student, just do not go out.
Okay. And if any kind of like experienced founder came, but in their past experience, they failed one or two startups. Okay. They are not able to make revenue from that startups, and then they are pitching for the third one. So in that case, what was the perception you guys have at the first look?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
Many startups fail. In India, out of 100, only 7 startups might be succeeding. But
Agreed.
93 startups, they have good things. They might have done really great work. Might be a startup can fail at a stage of like level 9, or somebody can fail at a level of maybe level 90. Byju's went to a very high scale and then crashed. But doesn't means Baiju Ravindran wasn't good. He might be good, but he had some other flaws
Exactly.
which brought the startup into a failure state. That thing is considered. The factors which make your startup die, they are considered, and we really appreciate those individuals who failed and yet try to start again. Because many successful founders come out of these failed entrepreneurs who once tried and failed, but they learn from their belongings, they learn from everything that they have done, and now they're beginning something new.
Got it.
So there is no negative perception that we have for him.
Got it. And like when any founder came with the idea, definitely they will come with their leadership team or their co-founders. Okay. So like what was the weightage of portfolio when you are evaluating the things? Like if I am a founder and I am a engineering graduate and I have two more guys with me, they are co-founders and we are building on one idea and all are engineering graduates. Okay. So and one team is came like they have three founders. One is from marketing background, one is from tech background and one is from product background. So like in that scenario, how you will judge that thing, and how important this step is, just because all the things start with one or two guys and then 300, 400,000 of users are come with them.
Basically, we always try that the founders, the co-founders, they should have a diverse background. Not
Okay.
diverse background per se, but diversified skills.
Okay.
They should be all complementary to each other. If one is very good in sales, then the other one should be very good in tech. And the other one should be very good in team building and completely taking care of the organization as a CEO. So these things matter a lot. If all are engineers, but still every engineering person is working on a different segment, we are happy. But if all are engineers, all are techies, and all are only focused on the tech, who is going to run the business? And that is a very big question mark, because nobody knows about the business then. So
Got
that
it.
way, even if they all are engineers, we are not at all unsatisfied with it. But
Got it.
even after engineers, you should have the skill set to enter into the segments that would be required for the business part.
Got it. Got it. uh Skill set matters, not the education, and what are their willings to do that thing, right? Got
Yes.
it. Got it. And like how many founders are too much founders for any startup when they're pitching for you for the first time?
What I feel, as per me, the perfect match would be a three-person team wherein three individuals take care of many different parts.
Okay.
I feel one is a bit too less, because many a times you're trying to manage everything and everything falls into a question mark state where you're not able to take care of anything after at all.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel anything beyond four would be a bit much, because every co-founder has a stake in the company, have a say in the company, and the more opinions that come into picture, the more complicated the situation becomes. So
Okay.
in that kind of a scenario, I would feel
So
that more
so
than that is.
as an investor, what was the thought you have, like if any startup is coming to you and they have two founders and both have diverse skill, have proven background, so what was the checks you guys are looking at them, like, these things we have to check with that guy, and these are the things we have to, like, that was good to have and that was must have if there are two founders. Okay, so what all are some this kind of thing in that sense,
So this is for individual founders or as a team there for them.
like as a team?
As a team, they should have complementary skills. If one is
Okay.
very good in sales, the other one should be very good in tech.
Yeah,
Maybe
as you
something
told.
like that. Then after, they should have really strong team building skills and an open mindset of like, even if a problem comes and their current product is not able to fulfill it, how are they going to go out of the box and bring a solution to it? They should
Okay.
have a clear vision for the future, that this is what I'm doing right now, but this is where I want to get maybe 4 years down the line.
Got it.
They should have an understanding for it, and overall they should have the entire picture of the entire that startup's ecosystem. If
Okay.
it's a completely health tech startup, then everything about health that the startup is concerned about, they should be aware and knowledgeable about that. Maybe one is more, the other one is less, but both of them together, they should be knowing about everything. That's it.
Got it. Got it. So yeah, this is pretty good. But apart from all this thing, what founders are thinking, like if we have two-person in our founding team and then like they are complementing their each skill, like I'm from the business background, other one is for the tech. Then apart from that, for the VC point of view, how's the founding team matters, like the founding leadership, like first guy for the tech, first guy for the product, first guy for the sales, first guy for the marketing. So when they come to you at the early stage and they don't have that leadership person in their team, so at that time what was the suggestion you guys are giving to them, and what are the takeaways you take from some kind of fail cases, and if you have any example regarding this?
Okay, some kind of takeaways that the startups take from us. Basically, if the senior leadership for the main first sales guy, or maybe the HR, maybe something like that, maybe first CFO is not there, it's okay. No startup has all the segments at their first stage, and if the startup is at the level where they require that kind of a person, it's good to have one. But if the startup is not even at that stage that they should be having a particular individual for this, then it just doesn't make sense. If the startup is just pre-revenue, has not done any kind of a big sales, big anything like that, then it doesn't matter to have a very big CFO in your company or not. Or maybe the startup is just in the MVP stage and they come to you and you ask them, oh, where is the sales lead? It doesn't matter, because they don't have any sales department as of now. And as the procedure goes, as the team grows, they will get one individual of that segment. So that's completely fine. We just suggest them, "Hey, right now you need to have, like, maybe the tech product is not very good and the two founders are also not techies, and but this startup that they are building is a tech platform." Then we definitely suggest them, firstly, go and get a CTO for your company, because you truly require that. Firstly, your tech platform sucks, and secondly, your entire startup is based on a tech platform. This combination not working out. Go and get a CTO. In these situations, we suggest them. In situations with, but this tech platform hasn't even started their sales, we don't require a salesperson. We just say, don't go for that. Just when the time will come, we'll proceed
Got
ahead.
it.
Yeah.
Got it. So this is the thing about the topic we have. Apart from that, like as 2024 is just ended, and like how the startup money flows in the last year, and what was the prediction and the industry prediction, like which industry is going in which segment, and what was the funding scenarios are going on, like money is flowing in which direction these days. So can you have any insights on that point?
I read a lot about this through a case study shared by Inc. 42 upon the highest number of money that was inflowing was into the e-commerce and the enterprise sales platforms. These ventures are getting the most amount of money, and they have been scaling like crazy. Of course, we all know the e-commerce space, Flipkart, Myntra, everybody is coming up with a new platform. But now I can see that the money is flowing more towards the sustainability sector, moving more towards the climate, more towards energy, more towards renewables, something which is now the need of the hour, something which is now going to scale more and more and more and more ahead in the future. For example, Nikhil Kamath and Kamath both have built their own funds for this complete climate space. Many of the money is flowing there. And to be very genuine, they are the ones whom everybody follows in the VC ecosystem. And if they are going there, then everybody automatically grasps a very good perception of that area, and everybody tries to invest more and more there, because the ecosystem of climate tech sustainability, this is growing a hell lot. So I feel that shift is happening now.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So, like, one more, very few point I have right now. So, one is like when any founder is coming for the early stage funding, and they not like as per the requirement, what all are the things that you are asking, like about their plan. Like if you are going for a funding of series, like seed funding round, okay. So what all are the requirement you take, like at the time of filing the term sheet or checking their pitch. So what all are the things that was mandatory in their pitch, in their pitch deck, ki why they want to raise fund. So in that perspective, what are the major key requirements any founder has to do for their pitch deck?
In every pitch deck, there should be a few pointers that should be very much clear. Firstly, the problem you're solving, the solution you have,
Okay.
the basic competitors you have in the market, and how are you differentiating yourself, which is the USP. And then after, you can should have an understanding of what the industry overview is, who is entering, who is leaving, how it is happening, how big it is, how much it is going to expand, how much it is going to shrink. You should have a strategy of how you're going to proceed in the upcoming times. For example, your business plan ahead for the next 2 years, 3 years at least, and there should be milestones that you completely claim that yes, we should be achieving these in this amount of time periods. And of course, the team should be very much clear cut that what they bring to the table, and if they work with us, what is the entire team members, what are they going to get out of it. So these are the basic things that should be very much clear, and if these are not there, then the investor would not be able to get a clear picture of what exactly is happening. One suggestion: founders add a lot of jargons to the entire thing, and jargons are the most terrible things. Your investor might not be a very big expert of the ecosystem you are working in. A healthcare startup involves all the terminologies. I think you and me both together, if we sit with a dictionary, we'll not be able to find the meaning of every term that's there.
Exactly.
Pitch deck. And no VC or no startup or no analyst who is reviewing the deck would like to proceed for a company who is not able to completely easily portray of what they are doing and explain it in the form of what pitch deck they are sharing. So these are a few things that need to be taken care of.
So yeah, these all from the my side. It's a great conversation about early stage fundraising for the founders, what they
Yes.
have to take care, and what are the key takeaways for them, and what they have to take care at the time of fundraising. Thanks, Vaishvi, for accepting the invite, and it's a great conversation with you. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.